Kellogg's, the finest name in breakfast cereals, presents the transcription feature, Superman! Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman! Yes, it's Superman, the strange visitor from another planet who came to us with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Champion of the weak and oppressed and foe to villains and evildoers everywhere. To aid in his battle against the forces of injustice, Superman has assumed the disguise of Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. His secret is heavily guarded. No one is aware that Clark Kent and Superman are one in the same. No one but you! For the first time in his amazing career, Superman, the ultra-powerful champion of justice and the oppressed, is confronted by strange circumstances which threaten to wreck his entire life's mission. The nature of those circumstances and their effect on the lives of Superman's alter ego Clark Kent and his fellow reporter at the Daily Planet Lois Lane is guaranteed to leave you on the edge of your seats. But before we begin today's action-packed adventure, listen. Hey kids, you know it's just no fun being tired. Listless, worn down, without any energy. You need plenty of get up and go in your everyday lives for the fun things you do. A friendly game of sports, swimming in the pool. Yes, even things like homework are much easier with extra energy. And that's where Kellogg's Pep comes in. Kellogg's Pep is just absolutely chock full of the type of vitamins and minerals essential for that type of energy you kids need in your daily routine. It's absolutely fortified in vitamin B, and it especially helps when you eat it as part of a well-balanced breakfast too. So kids, next time your mom's out shopping, ask her to pick up a box of Kellogg's Pep, and believe me, you'll be able to tell the difference soon. That's P-E-P, Pep, from your friends at Kellogg's. And now, our daily feature, Superman! Our story begins not in the city, but up, beyond Earth's atmosphere, in the black, murky depths of space. The calm, dark, quiet void, filled with twinkling heavenly bodies, is soon interrupted by a sharp, illuminating green streak of light. This stellar fragment, a meteor, is fated to change the very destiny of Superman. Back on Earth in his observatory, quietly humming with analytical machinery, Professor Barnett Winton stands hunched over the eyepiece of his enormous telescope, closely observing the startling visitor from the heavens. Listen. Strange, no regular orbit. Appears it shall revolve around Earth, then flash back into the depths of space again. Fascinating and thought-provoking. I must alert the news media of my find. Minutes later, we join Clark Kent, the supposedly meek and mild-mannered reporter who is secretly Superman, having just walked into Chief Editor Perry White's office after being summoned. Oh, you want to see me, Chief? That's right, Ken. Don't even bother sitting down. This won't take long. Professor Winton at the observatory just phoned me. Oh, you mean that, eccentric astronomer is always seeing unnatural phenomena in his telescope? Yeah, that's the one. I want you to get a statement from him on this mysterious meteor business he's discovered. Another one? Oh, well, gosh, Chief, with all due respect, I wish you'd save these dull assignments for somebody else. Now, you'll do as you're told. Boring assignment is better than none at all. On your way. Oh, all right, Chief. Oh, boy. Maybe I should have called in sick today. Within moments, a taxi drops Kent off in front of the massive observatory belonging to Professor Winton. He approaches the front door and rings the bell. Yes, and who might you be? Oh, pardon me, Professor. I'm Clark Kent, reporter for the Daily Planet. Yes? I believe you telephoned our offices earlier? Ah, yes, I did indeed. Come in, young man. Something very interesting to impart to you and your readers. Oh, thank you. Strange. The minute I stepped into this building, a sense of fatigue suddenly came over me. Maybe I should have gotten that extra hour of sleep after all. So, Professor, you say you've spotted a meteor careening through our solar system?
Yes, that's correct. I've been following its path since about 5 hours ago.
Well, tell me, Professor, from where do you think this stellar vagabond hails?
I'm glad you asked. It is my belief. In fact, I am quite certain that this fragment is a portion of the distant planet referred to in the Astronomers' Society as Krypton, which had exploded to bits many years ago.
Really? Well, Professor, what makes you so certain that this meteor is indeed from that destroyed planet?
Well, that is a secret that I'm not yet ready to divulge. But someday I may let you know. Someday.
Well, I look forward to that day indeed. Good grief. If you only knew to what degree he's boring me. I'll try to make one last attempt at squeezing something newsworthy out of this story. Professor, would there be any remote possibility of this meteor colliding with Earth and causing any damage?
Oh, why, none at all. If you look at this chalk rendering I've prepared.
Yes?
It shall approach the Earth's magnetic field, then make a sudden sharp turn southward, away from the planet.
Oh, I see.
However, there is a distinct possibility it may return on other occasions.
Oh, well, that'll certainly give the stargazers something to look at. Well, in any case, thank you for your time, Professor. Sometime later, Kent is walking through the halls of the Daily Planet, on his way to hand in the finished story to his editor, Mr. White. Boy, what a stupid yarn. Just a waste of valuable print, if you ask me. All right, here's the story, Mr. White.
Thanks, Kent.
Now, if you'll only give me something I can really sink my teeth into.
Funny you bring that up. I believe I have just the thing for you, Kent.
Oh, and, well, what would that be?
I'll tell you. You ever hear of Rocks Gordon, Kent?
Oh, well, goodness, who hasn't? He's, really one of the most notorious local gangsters around.
That's right. And no one's ever succeeded in landing an interview with him. He's got a reputation for roughing up reporters. That enough of assignments to sink your teeth into, Kent?
Am I interrupting anything?
Oh, not at all, Lois. You see, Kent's been begging me for an assignment worthy of his talents, so I'm giving him the opportunity to interview Rocks Gordon the gangster.
Why, how perfectly swell, Clark. I didn't think you had to know.
Oh, no. This won't do. Lois can't have any inkling I'm anything but a coward. She'll begin to suspect my secret identity. Got to think fast. Me? Interviewing that hoodlum? Oh, now, Chief, I asked you for an assignment, not a beating, for crying out loud.
What?
I might have known it was too good to be true. You're just as cowardly as ever. Maybe I should go along to protect you.
Confound it, Kent, you asked for the assignment, now take it! We all wash up here at the planet!
Oh, all right, Chief, I'm sorry, I'll go. The tension following Kent's stage act of cowardice is still in the air as he and Lois approach Rocks Gordon's palatial home. Why did I have to wish this upon myself?
Honestly, Clark, I wish you'd just buck up and be a man. How you've ever gotten all the thrilling scoops you have is beyond me. Oh, well, since you're too cowardly to take this job, I might as well ring the doorbell for you as well.
Oh, now, Lois!
Yeah, what do you want?
Pardon us, may we speak to, Mr. Gordon?
What for?
It's something of vital importance to your boss. It would be wise of you to let us in so that we can inform him.
Yeah, all right. Just don't try the funny stuff. Now who are these, Crusher? I don't know, boss. They say they got something important to tell you.
Good day, Mr. Gordon. May we please have a moment of your time?
Sure, Toots, come along into my office.
Why, thank you, Mr. Gordon. My, this is some office.
Classy, eh? Grab a chair and tell me what's on your mind. Have a cigarette.
Oh, no, thank you, Mr. Gordon. I don't smoke.
My, that certainly is a fancy cigarette case, Mr. Gordon. It even has your initials engraved right into the gold plating.
You like that, huh? I send these cases to only my closest pals. Well, what do you want?
Well, a sort of, interview, to be honest.
Clark?
What? Reporters, huh? That's it. Out! Out! I said out!
No, see
Get
here,
out!
sir. Come
Crusher!
now, sir.
Yeah, boss! Show these two reporters to the door!
Oh, no,
All
see
right,
here, sir.
Four Eyes,
Come
you
now,
heard
don't
the
need to
boss. Get out and stay out!
Oh, you would have to spill the beans, Clark. There goes our assignment.
Now, Lois, eventually we would have had to tell Gordon the reason we were there.
If you'd just let me do the talking, I could have come up with a cover for why we were there and weaseled the interview out of Gordon that way.
Well, now, gosh, Lois, that doesn't seem very honest.
Oh, Clark, you've got a lot to learn.
And it is a very defeated-looking Clark Kent and Lois Lane who eventually walk back into Chief Editor Perry White's office. Ah, well, you managed that story in time? Well, come now, let's have it. Where's the interview?
Well, we, didn't get it, Chief.
What? You didn't get it?
That's right, Chief. Clark opened that big mouth of his and tipped Gordon off that we were reporters.
Oh, now, Lois!
Is that so, huh? And right after you beat that for something man-sized. Well, that settles it. I'm giving you something more on your line, something, innocuous. I want you to cover the opening of that new exhibit at the Metropolis Museum of Art.
No, Chief.
Art, eh? Well, they say that's very uplifting. Come on, Lois, let's get going.
Within minutes, Clark and Lois are now downtown at the impressive modern design edifice at the Metropolis Art Museum.
Honestly, Clark, you actually sound pleased at the prospect of standing around gawking at some half-baked masterpieces.
Well, it gives me an excuse to remain in your company, doesn't it?
Well, lucky day.
Oh, wait a minute, Lois.
What? What is it?
Those two men standing at the museum's entrance. I recognize one of them.
Which one?
The young blonde man with the pipe. Why, he's John Manners, the nephew of that eccentric shipping magnate, Craig Matthews. You know, the one who passed away recently. Well, hello, John.
Clark, how have you been? Funny running into you here.
John, I'd like you to meet Lois Lane, a fellow reporter at the Planet.
Oh, how do you do, Miss Lane?
How do you do?
May I introduce you to an acquaintance of mine? That would be me. This oh-so-humble gentleman with the neatly groomed mustache would be Darrell Bronson, the art critic for Contemporary Arts Bi-Monthly. His fellow columnists have even labeled him something of a snob. Well, some people haven't had the experience or discerning knowledge as I.
Well, I'm certainly glad to meet you, Mr. Bronson.
To say this meeting is a pleasure, Miss Lane, would be trite but apt.
It seems I read that someplace before.
Well, I haven't seen you in some time, John. How have you been?
Well, to be honest, quite woefully, Clark.
What?
Yes, it's bad enough that I lost Uncle Craig, but all he left me in the will was a practically worthless oil painting by an artist friend of his named Paul Gentry.
An oil painting?
That's right. A little number called Hidden Gold. It's on display here right now.
Well, that's odd. It's my belief that your uncle was fabulously wealthy.
It's just the thing, Clark. He was, but, well, after his death, his unscrupulous business partners, Gizzard and Buzzard, picked his estate clean and only left me with that painting. Ha! As if you could call that atrocity a painting. It's a wonder they're even exhibiting it here at all. Take my word for it, it's a sad waste of canvas.
We should take your word, Mr. Bronson.
I should say so. Why, in the very latest issue of my publication, I wrote an article exposing Gentry's work as being the scribblings of a mere amateur, and Hidden Gold is his most nauseating excuse for art I've ever seen. That's what I like so much about Bronson, Clark. He's such pleasant company.
Well, he sure seems friendly enough.
All right. Well, we've wasted enough time out here. Let's go in and I'll show you the painting. Ah, there she is. Right between those two there.
Oh, yes, I see.
You see, the painting signifies the elation of a prospector who for years has searched for an old lost gold mine and has finally stumbled upon it.
Why, you can practically hear him shouting, Eureka!
Well, looks pretty good to me.
Of course it would, to your undiscerning eye.
Well, congratulations, young fella. Fine picture you've inherited, Manners, but it's not worth the canvas it's printed on.
Well, if it isn't Gizzard and Buzzard, you thieving skinflints! I've been longing to give you a piece of my mind since— All right, freeze! Don't none of you move!
Oh no! Armed bandits!
Ah! Oh no! Sir, please don't hurt me!
All right, hands up. Do as we tell you and maybe you won't get hurt.
Well, we're up against it now. My X-ray vision informed me who's behind the lead thug's mask, and... What? Great Scott! It's Rox Gordon! I should have known!
All right, everybody, into the broom closet. Now!
All right, everyone, just do as he says. Everybody inside.
Really, Clark? Why don't you just help them rob the place while you're at it?
Shut up! Get in there! No good. It's locked. We'll have to break the door down.
My word, what are we going to do?
Well, don't just stand there, Clark. Help them with the door, for goodness sake.
All right, men. On three. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3.
Well, how am I doing, Lois?
I'm afraid to tell you.
All right. Come on, men. One more time.
All right. Time to put the smallest amount of super strength behind this one.
1, 2, 3. Look out!
Those gangsters seem to be gone already.
There they go. Off in that car.
The alarm! Someone sound the alarm!
Minutes later, the police arrived and began to assess the situation. That's odd. Even though there are many valuables around, the only thing that seems to have been stolen is the picture from this frame.
Why, that's hidden gold. They've stolen hidden gold from its frame. I just can't understand it. That picture was worthless.
Won't the bandits feel silly when they find out? Well, now you haven't even got that worthless painting, Manners.
Buzzard, why don't you and your partner just make yourself scarce?
Well, in any case, we have got a story worth writing about now. I need to phone this in. Where's the telephone? Ah, here's one.
I'll take that, Mr. Kent.
Oh, here now. What are you doing, Mr. Bronson?
Haven't you ever heard of Ladies First, Kent? Here you are, Miss Lane.
Why, thank you, Mr. Bronson. Pay close attention, Clark. You might just gain a little lesson in chivalry. Hello, Planet. This is Lois Lane. Get me the editor's desk.
Whoever heard of a reporter who was a gentleman?
All right. I'll give you the details later. Thanks, Chief.
Well, Lois, what do you say we try to forget this little inconvenience by my taking you out to lunch?
Are you ready? Come along, Miss Lane.
Sorry, Clark. Mr. Bronson has already seen to that. Maybe some other time.
Huh. Well, how do you like that? Well, in any case, I'd better just sneak out of this museum. That's right. Okay. Sally looks deserted enough. Okay, now,
Better get out of these clothes and have Superman pay Rox Gordon a social call. Now up, and away!
But just as Superman takes flight through the skies of Metropolis, back in outer space, the mysterious meteor fragment from the planet Krypton hurtles closer toward Earth.
That's it. Just a few more blocks. Ha! What's that? A drunken driver! He's about to hit that child crossing the street! Well, not if I have anything to say about it. I'll just land in front of...
What? My legs! They just buckled underneath me. What's going on? My fleetness gone. It feels like lead weights are tied to my limbs. My strength ebbing. I've got to reach that child. Almost got it. There!
Hey, what are you
There!
doing? Oh.
Off into the soft grass. Now he's safe.
The car hit me. Force of the impact. It's something I've never felt before. He's still trying to run me over. My ears, they're actually ringing. No, I mustn't lose consciousness. Just cling tight to the radiator. I must stop this car. There. Barely did it.
Try to mess with my car, huh? I'll fix you.
Hold it right there. Put down that wrench.
Oh, I'll put it down, all right.
He hit me right over the head. Pain. I actually know the meaning of pain for the first time in my life. I'll teach this lowlife a lesson he'll never forget. All right, pal. You like to hit people with wrenches, huh? How'd you like to be hit over the head with your own car? Ah! Help! Help! He's crazy! He's gonna kill me! What? No, my strength deserting me again. The car closing down on me. I can't hold it up any longer.
And with that sound of crashing metal, the car comes slamming down upon the Man of Steel. Has this strange circumstance brought about the end of Superman's crusade for justice? We will return in a few moments for the second part of this thrilling adventure. But first, listen. Hey, to the rest of you fellas out there, you never like feeling exhausted or worn down halfway through the day. Tired without any vigor or drive to do the things that are part of your daily routine. Well, maybe what you need is a change in your diet, starting with a nice, delicious bowl of Kellogg's Pep. That's right, a luscious, fortified with vitamin B bowl of Kellogg's Pep first thing in the morning will start you on a day filled with extra energy at work, on a leisurely jog, a fishing trip, or even hanging out with the wife and kids. That's because Kellogg's Pep has all the essential vitamins and minerals you need for that extra attaboy energy. So, the next time the little lady goes out shopping, ask her to pick up a box of Kellogg's Pep, and trust us, you'll feel the difference. And now, back to our feature, Superman! When last we left Superman, he was on his way to the home of Rox Gordon, the gangster who had just stolen the seemingly worthless painting Hidden Gold from its frame when he attempted to impede a drunken driver and ended up under the man's car when his superhuman strength failed him. Now, as we return to the scene, we listen under the vehicle for any sign of life.
Well, that was a close one. It barely missed me. The car's wheels landed just short of my head. Oh, I've got to get out from under this car. Gotta get away and get my outer clothes on before people see me. That delivery truck stopped at a red light. Its back is open. It's my only chance. Unbelievable how much effort it took. What could have possibly happened to me?
Meanwhile, unbeknownst to Superman, back in the alley where he had left his outer garments, a wandering tramp had come upon them. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me.
What? Whoa, well, this must be my lucky day. Oh, fancy suit just waiting for me. Boy, I thought I'd have to wear this ratty old thing forever.
Back in the truck, a reeling Superman reflects upon the situation he's in.
I just don't understand it. For years, I fought for the principles that I thought were right and just, using my incredible powers of strength and mind to correct injustices and make the world a better place. And now, the powers that enabled me to do all these things are gone. Is this the end of Superman? Well, in any case, after I disguise myself as Clark Kent again, I'll be able to get my head on straight and figure things out. Oh, okay, here's the alley. Let me just jump off. Now to just... Great Scott! That tramp has put on my clothes! He's sure to find an identification card in my wallet! I've got to stop him! What do you know? Fits like a charm. Say, maybe there's some dough in the pockets. Hey, you there! Take off those clothes! Oh, hey, Superman! You heard me! I said take them off right now! Yes, Mr. Superman, I'll take them off. I didn't even know they was yours. Please don't hurt. Stop talking and hurry! Hurry, I said! Okay. Look, they're off. Now I'm getting out of here. No, wait a minute, sir. You can have your own clothes back. Oh, forget it. The only thing I want to do, guys, get out of here as quick as possible. Well, in any case, that crisis was averted. Hurry up and get these clothes back on. Just barely arrived in time. I'd come just a moment later. Well, I just better not think about it.
Meanwhile, Rox Gordon and his gang are back at his palatial estate. As the men lounge in Rox's study, the gang boss stands, admiring the purloined, hidden gold painting that he holds in his hands. Listen. Ain't that a beauty? Has the boss gone nuts? I mean, I know he goes for class, but don't you think this is carrying it a little too far? I know, right? Risking our lives just because he's gone pinching knights.
Pinching knights, am I? Listen, you boobs, I'll show you who's crazy, not me. This is the biggest job I ever pulled. Why, we'll all probably be set for life. What do you say to that?
It sounds good, boss.
Now, listen closely, Crusher. This is what I want you to do. Gee, boss, I can understand you send me to crack a bank, all right, but to swipe that? Never mind what you understand. Now get going! All right, I'm going.
Hey, what's up, Crusher?
Just get in the car. You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
At that same moment, in another part of the city, Lois Lane is now relaxing at art critic Daryl Bronson's penthouse apartment. As Lois reclines on a luxurious armchair, Bronson busies himself in the kitchen.
I must say, this is quite the nice place you got here, Mr. Bronson.
I'm glad you find the accommodations pleasing, Miss Lane. I'll be out with the food and refreshments shortly.
You know, I have to say, there was something vaguely familiar about the leader of those bandits who robbed the museum. Oh, if only I could put my finger on it.
Oh, I'm sure it'll come to you. In any event, the meal is served. Help yourself. If you care for a cigarette, you'll find some on the case beside you.
No, thank you. I don't smoke. Wait a minute. The initials engraved into that cigarette case. Ah, gee, Rox Gordon. He said he only sent these cases to his closest friends. Now I realize it. Rox was the leader of those thugs. And that means that you're partners with him.
Clever girl. I've got another little surprise for you.
A gun.
Clever and observant. Now let's go and pay a little visit to my dear old partner.
Meantime, Clark Kent has arrived once again at the home of Professor Barnett Winton. We join him as he rings the bell anxiously. I remember feeling a strange sense of weakness when I came here for that interview, and the professor hinted that he was in possession of some secret. I wonder if there's a connection between the two.
Ah, if it isn't the reporter for the Planet, Clark Kent, I believe.
Yes, that's right, Professor. If you'll, pardon my asking, sir. What I've come to see you about is, well...
Yes?
Well, it's that secret that you mentioned to me earlier. I must know what it is.
What? You honestly expect me to tell you on a whim?
Oh, please, Professor. I assure you, it's not just idle curiosity that prompts me to make this brazen request, but, well, let me just say, it may answer some questions in my mind based on things I've experienced.
Oh, very well. I shall tell you. First, I must remind you that I expect you to promise never to violate the strict secrecy that I impose on you.
Oh, yes, of course, Professor. I give you my word. Now, please.
Well, from what my calculations and studies of the area of space it seemed to sit in, the planet Krypton apparently supported a form of life far beyond those of Earthmen. But of course, all life died on Krypton with the death of the planet itself.
Why, that's amazing.
However, long ago, whilst on a scientific expedition into the heart of Mongolia, I sighted a tremendous heavenly display as the night sky became bright as day. The natives were absolutely terrified.
Well, I imagine I'd be shaking in my boots as well.
The next day they came to me with a fantastic tale. Doom had fallen down from the fiery skies, blotting out an entire village.
Oh, great Scott!
My sentiments exactly. I determined to investigate. It was no idle tale. I had reached the former site of the village. I found that it had indeed been destroyed by a giant meteor.
Why, that's horrifying.
Indeed. Not only that, but my instruments indicated a strange force emanating from the celestial visitor. Digging deep within it, I extracted a metallic mineral of such strange, otherworldly radioactivity that I had to sheath it in lead. That very same metal I still possess, here in my laboratory.
What? You mean you actually still have that piece of space metal here in your lab?
That's right. It's right here in this back room. Wait here, Mr. Kent. All right, here we are.
It's inside that container?
Correct, Mr. Kent. Now, observe!
Oh, great Scott! As Professor Winton opens the metallic container, the mysterious space metal's intense luminescence fills the entire room with a nearly blinding green light.
You see, Mr. Kent, it glows with a penetrating green brilliance. Strangely enough, as I observed it through my telescope back in Mongolia, as it traversed the night sky, it was dull and unnoteworthy in appearance, until it began to approach the Earth. Then came this new radiant luster.
There it is.
That unaccountable weakness again.
My legs becoming weaker.
Not only that, but behold! This mysterious metal also imparts strange powers as well. See, I am a feeble old man, but as I touch it, I am suddenly possessed with tremendous temporary strength.
Good grief! You're holding the desk over your head with one hand, Professor!
Of course! I explained it to you. The metal gives its human host unbelievable powers. Go on, try it yourself, Mr. Kent.
Oh, all right. Here goes. Strange. This feeling of fatigue from earlier has returned. Only it's 10 times greater. It's almost as if I were on the threshold of a fearsome discovery.
My word! Mr. Kent! Mr. Kent! Are you all right, Mr. Kent?
At the very moment Clark Kent touched the mysterious metal fragment, a sharp agony twists through his form. A sudden cry escaped his lips, and he dropped into unconsciousness. Moments later, a horrified Professor Winton attempts to rouse the unconscious reporter.
Mr. Kent! Mr. Kent! Mr. Kent! Speak to me, man! Are you all right?
Oh, yes. a trifle dizzy, but it'll pass.
Oh, here, just sit here. Have a glass of water.
Thank you.
Strange. I can't understand it. This metal imparted to me a sensation of amazing strength and vitality. Yet, when you touched it, it seemed to rob you of all animation. Interesting. And puzzling.
I know the answer only too well now. Of course. I myself must have come from Krypton. That's the only explanation at this point. When that interstellar fragment swings close to Earth, it renders my body strength to that of the average person on this planet. Like two poles of a short-circuited battery. While I lived on Krypton, I must have derived great strength and powers from that planet. But after the explosion, and my traveling to Earth, it was broken in some mysterious fashion. When that fragment nears the Earth, the effect on me is negative.
Mr. Kent, are you feeling any better?
Yes, Professor, I'm feeling much better now. I believe I'm steady enough to walk now. Matter of fact, I have to be on my way now.
Oh, wait, Mr. Kent, are you absolutely certain you're well enough to be walking around? I mean, you took a rather bad fall.
Oh, yes, I'm in perfect physical condition. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really have other business to attend to in the city.
Well, all right, if you insist.
Thank you very much. And goodbye, Professor Whitten.
Now remember, Mr. Kent, you've given me your word. You must tell no one!
Clark sits in the back of a taxicab on the way to Rox Gordon's residence. He ponders the fantastic event he had just experienced and the amazing impression it made on him. So, that's what it's all about. At last I know the secret of my origin. But what do I do now? My super strength is gone. Do I continue my battle for the sake of just as a Superman? Without my powers? Or assume a quiet existence as mere Clark Kent, reporter? No! Whether I have super strength or not, I'll continue my fight against the forces of evil as Superman. Even though I'm at a considerable disadvantage. All right, Mac, we're here. Oh, thank you. Please keep the change. Well, here we are. Oh, there's Rox's men now near the back of that moving van. Better get out of sight. Oh, this fence should hide me sufficiently. Say, what's that bulky package they're carrying into his home? I'd better find out. Ah, a window conveniently left open. Nope, no one's inside. Pretty big risk, but I have to take it. Now, let's see. Where are they? Ah! Voices coming from behind that wall. Rats! I can hardly hear what they're saying. Oh, what I wouldn't give for my super hearing right now. Behind the wall, Clark is straining his ears toward. Rox Gordon unveils the contents of the mysterious box in the presence of his men.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Well, what kind of thing is that, boss?
It's violet ray equipment, stupid. The doc was sort of reluctant about parting with it, but when I gave him a taste of these here brass knuckles, he changed his tone pretty quick.
What do you need that for, boss?
I'm about to show you, dummy! Crusher, hit the lights.
Sure, boss.
Now, watch what happens when I shine the light on this here painting we swiped.
What the?
It's a map! Now, you fellas still think I'm crazy?
But what does it mean, boss?
I'll tell you, halfwit. This ultraviolet light brings out this map that's drawn beneath the painting. This map shows the location of the richest gold mine Craig Matthews ever discovered.
But why would they put a map underneath the painting?
'Cause Matthews didn't trust his partners of his, Gizzard and Buzzard. So when he found this mine, he kept it a secret. When he willed it to his nephew, John Manners, he figured that if he could find the secret of the painting, he deserved the inheritance. And you aim for us to beat him to it, huh, boss? Right. And I don't intend to waste no time. We're leaving for the mine at once.
Still pressing his ear against the wall, straining to hear what the men are saying, Clark lets his guard down to the threat looming behind him.
Eavesdropping, huh?
Huh? Hey, what's going on here?
I got this here mug snooping at the wall. You know who this guy is, Chief?
Yeah, it's that fool reporter who tried to interview me this morning. He must have heard every word. Don't worry, boss. I'll fix him so as he won't squeal. Hold it, Crusher. I know a perfect way to dispose of his body. You stay here and carry out the rest of those instructions while me and the boys take this reporter here to the mine. Sure. Whatever you say, boss.
Sometime after Rox and his men have absconded with Clark's unconscious body, Darrell Bronson, leading Lois along with a pistol in her back, have arrived at Gordon's mansion and are deeply involved in conversation.
Wait a moment! You mean to tell me that there's a map leading to the location of a secret mine hidden under that painting?
That's correct. While working at the article on Gentry, I had the liberty of looking through his papers, when I found a note which gave away the secret of the hidden gold painting. Therefore, I made a pact with Gordon. In exchange for 50% of the mine's profits, he was to snatch the painting for me.
Why, you low-down snake! You won't get away with this!
Quiet, you nosy little wretch! Yeah, what do you want, Bronson? Where's Gordon? He already left for the mine.
Ha! Looks like your partner's already pulled out of the deal.
Quiet, you! Where is that mine?
Over in Ellsworth Canyon, about 8 miles from here.
All right. Come on, Miss Lane, move!
These dummies think I'm just gonna lead them to the mine.
Good grief! That thug's going for his gun! He's going to shoot us both down. Oh, I've got to do something. This vase should do the trick. Oh, no, you don't!
Oh, so double-cross me, will you, Crusher?
You shot him in cold blood?
That's right, and there'll be a lot more corpses before I'm finished. Now come with me unless you want a taste of what I gave Crusher.
About a half hour later, after having secured a plane, Bronson and Lois are now flying just above the mine's location.
Look, there's another plane in that canyon below.
I knew it! That's Gordon's plane! He thought he could just use me, and then toss me aside. But I'll show him. Hold on, Miss Lane, we're coming in for a landing.
As if I had a choice.
Around that same time, Rox, Gordon and his men have revived Clark and escort him from their plane at gunpoint, leading him to the side of a cliff in the ravine.
Now get going!
Easy now! What are you going to do with me?
Just keep walking in that direction.
But there's nothing here, gentlemen, just some bushes.
That's what you think. Just push him aside.
Great Scott! It's the entrance to the mine! And from the looks of it, we hit the jackpot! Gold nuggets everywhere!
Forget about that for a minute. We got this reporter here to finish off first.
Funny how a few hours ago I would have laughed at the uselessness of their weapons. But now...
All right, boys. Ready? Aim! Freeze! Drop those guns and keep your hands raised!
Clark!
Lois! It's Bronson! Listen, Darrell. Put that gun down. You wouldn't... Wouldn't what? Shoot you all down? Ha!
Of course not. That would be far too merciful a fate for you.
No, you double-crossing rat!
You're in line with something far more fitting. All right, Miss Lane, get over there with the others.
Anything to be away from you.
Oh, Lois! Are you all right?
Yes, all things considered.
Now for that surprise I promised you, Gordon.
Whoa! Is that... Dynamite! A whole pack of it!
Ah, so you've noticed. Now everyone, stay where you are.
He lit it!
Oh, great Scott, he's mad!
Farewell, you fool! He's getting away! Stop him! Stop! That rat Bronson sealed us inside this mine!
The fiend!
Meanwhile, standing safely above the explosion zone on a cliff top, Bronson surveys the fruit of his deeds. Thick cloud of smoke rising from the mine's entrance. Well, that's taken care of. I'll just make myself comfortable and wait. I've got plenty of time and fresh air. After those fools have all suffocated, I can reopen the mine, hide their bodies, and then begin extracting that precious gold. Meanwhile, back inside the mine, as the air is being rapidly exhausted, weakness begins to steal over the entombed prisoners.
I can't breathe.
Air! Give me air!
Well, Clark, this looks like the end.
Yes, Lois. At least we're together. I can't believe it. My lungs straining, bursting. Like the others. There's an intense roaring in my ears. Everything's going black. At that exact moment, back out in space, just as Professor Winton had predicted, the massive meteor from Krypton swings around the Earth's axis and back into the opposite direction. Back in the mine, Clark feels a sudden rush of vitality in his body. What? What's this? Energy seeping back into my veins. I can't believe it. My amazing strength completely returned. Well, I can't understand it. What a dilemma. I can save all these people from death, but if I do, my true identity as Superman will be revealed. At the same time, unless I do act, and soon, Lois and all of these people will perish. And there's only one thing to do. Have to hurry and get these outer clothes off. All right, everyone. Look well, because you're about to see something that I thought mortal eyes would never witness. Huh? What? Am I seeing things? Is he wearing a Superman costume? They're so dazed they can hardly believe their senses.
What? Clark? You're Superman? But how? I must be imagining things. The lack of air.
No, Lois, it's only too real. I don't have time to explain right now. I've got to get us out of here. Gotta have all my powers back. I've got to break us out and hurry. Hurry! Or all this effort will have been in vain. Just a little farther. All right. There you are. Breathe deeply. Air! Air! Funny how for once they've forgotten their precious gold. All right, Lois, come on. We're getting out of here. Come on. Out of the stuff trap.
I still can't believe you, Clark Kent, Superman.
Get him! Shoot him down!
Well, no sooner do I save their lives than they're back to their old tricks again. Meanwhile, back at the top of the cliff, an irate Bronson realizes his plans to bury his captives has failed.
What? They've escaped! How? I don't know. But they shan't get away. I'll see to that. This large boulder right here should do the trick. A landslide! Hold on, Lois. You better hope I've regained my stamina to get airborne. Up and away! Hey, you guys, look out! Well, there goes our welcoming committee.
Oh, I hope you're able to get to the top of that cliff.
So do I. Almost got it. Whoa, hold on tight, Lois. Hurry, up, up.
You did it! We're safe!
Not yet. We still have to take care of a skunk named Bronson. There he is. Back. You keep back, or I'll...
Oh, I think you've already caused all the harm you're ever going to.
No! Don't come near me! Don't I say? Wait! I'm falling!
He's dead.
A fitting fate. Now you're coming with me, young lady.
But Clark, I mean, Superman, I mean, oh, I don't know what I mean, but why didn't you just tell me who you were?
Because if people were to learn my true identity, it would hamper my mission to help humanity. You must keep it a secret, Lois. You understand?
Now I see. Your attitude of cowardice as Clark Kent. It was just an act to keep the world from learning who you really are. But there's one thing I must know. Your, affection towards me as Clark. Was that also an act?
That was the genuine article, Lois.
How foolish you were not to let me in on your secret. You should have known you could trust me. Why, don't you realize I may even be of great help to you?
You're right. There were many times when I could have used the assistance of a confidant. Why didn't I think of it before?
Then it's settled. We're to be partners.
Yes, partners.
Later, Superman resumes his identity as Clark Kent. Then he and Lois begin to look for his old friend. Excuse me, young man, have you seen John Manners?
Oh, yeah. I believe he was dropping in on Gizzard and Buzzard.
Oh, did you hear that, Clark? Let's hurry.
Inside the office of the two unscrupulous businessmen, John is giving them a piece of his mind.
I tell you, I've uncovered evidence that definitely proves you two scoundrels bilked me out of my inheritance.
You have, huh? Lot of good it'll do ya. That's right. Remember, court trials are costly, and money happens to be something you possess very little of.
Oh, I don't believe this.
Tell you what we'll do. We'll give you $4,000 if you drop all the charges against us. Just sign here.
Well, you've got me under a barrel. All right, give me that pen.
Oh, wait, John, don't sign anything until you hear what we first have to say.
Wait a moment, who said you two could just barge in here?
You're rich, John. That hidden gold painting had a map to a real gold mine beneath it. You're worth millions.
Millions? What, are you joking? No, John, honest. Well, gentlemen, that changes the setup pretty radically, I'd say. I'm gonna sue both of you for every last cent you've got. Fool! You let him inherit that painting. I didn't see you trying to stop me.
Clark, Miss Lane, how can I possibly thank you? We would appreciate it if you'd turn over some of the proceeds to charity.
Ha! Consider it done, old pal.
However, as they depart from the office, Clark suddenly finds Lois walking off in a huff. Lois, wait, what are you suddenly so angry at?
Oh, nothing. I just remembered how long you've secretly been laughing at me. And I assure you, I don't like being laughed at, Clark Kent. However, I'll assist you, but only for the good of humanity.
So, I'm back in the doghouse again. Oh well, I have a healthy suspicion that Lois will recover her temper, and things between us will be ironed out in time. I hope. Oh well, back to the salt mines.
Hey, Mr. Kent! Mr. Kent!
Oh, Jimmy, well, what's with all the excitement?
Well, it's just that someone left an urgent message for you. Professor Barnett Whitten, I believe.
Oh, thanks, Jimmy. I'll hurry straight back to his lab. And when Clock arrives at Professor Whitten's lab...
Oh, you've come at last, have you?
Oh, hello, Professor. I heard you'd called and...
I thought you promised me not to reveal my secret.
But I haven't told a soul. What makes you think...
Told anyone, eh? Follow me into the laboratory.
Oh, good grief, Professor. Whatever's the problem?
Right after you left, someone broke in.
What?
And he stole the mysterious metal from Krypton.
He did?
Yes. And who knows what havoc he'll unleash with it.
Shortly afterward, a puzzled Clark Kent departs from the professor's home. I just don't understand it. Who could have stolen the Kryptonian metal? And why? Superman will learn the answer to this perplexing question in a future episode, where he's faced with a mysterious foe who uses the mysterious metal to render the Man of Steel vulnerable in their clashes. So don't miss the next exciting episode of Superman!